No, actually, I think you just did that.
Outstanding team performance on Saturday. Played well in the kicking game. Look at Phil Potty, hit 4 field goals, and that's probably why he's the biggest player of the week in special teams. Our offense didn't get started early in the game, had a lot of penalties, but we were able to get it straightened out at halftime. They came back second half, had 0 penalties, but was able to get some consistency going. Defensively, played outstanding, pitched a shutout. It's always good when you're able to pitch a shutout, and guys made plays on defense. Johnny Patrick went down in Cincinnati game, was able to come back and get an interception. Brandon Dunn, a true freshman, started for the first time. A lot of freshmen are playing right now, but just overall, just defensively, we went in that game knowing that we had to stop Todman. It was something that we did as a team. He wasn't able to get going in the running game, and we were able to keep them off balance. But just an outstanding effort. It's great to just see us put together a game where we struggled early on offense, but we were able to play well on defense, and then you were able to play well in the kicking game. But this week is going to be a tremendous challenge for us. It's a road game. We lost 10 straight Big East games on the road, and we need to go play well. Pittsburgh's an outstanding team, a blue-collar team, very tough team. If you look at them on offense, the issue is going to be is covering their wide receivers. You have 2 6'5" wide receivers in Baldwin and Shanahan, guys that can go up and get the ball. Then you have Graham and Lewis where you're going to have to go in and stop the run. But Graham's more of a quick guy. Lewis is a downhill runner. Quarterback is playing really well for them. Offensive line is big and physical, like to run the football. Then you look at them on defense, very athletic. Their defensive line, 2 top pass rushers on their defensive line. And then you look at them against the run. They're number 1 in the conference and they're number 9 in the country in stopping the run. Only 2 teams have rushed for over 100 yards against them. Miami being one, Utah being the other 2 games that they lost. But their secondary have a 6'4" safety who's able to get downhill. So they load the run front, make you throw the ball against them. So it's going to be a good challenge for us. We have a good running back. We have a good run game. We feel like we can go run the football. But it's going to be a tremendous battle for us. We're going to see exactly where we are as a football team. We'll see who we are, what we made of. It's going to be a tremendous environment. We're on the road. We know this. When anytime you go on the road, you have to pack your defense. You have to pack your togetherness. You have to pack your quickness. You have to go compete. We have to go compete. If we want to get this program to where it needs to get to, we have to go play well on the road.
I think it's Pittsburgh as a lone undefeated team in the Big East. I mean, I feel like the way they played lately, they may be emerging as the team to beat in the league.
Well, they played, and like you said, they have 2 wins in the league, and they played very well. It's just they've been able to get together. They have good balance on their offense right now in throwing the ball as well as running the football. And then defensively, their team on defense, they don't start off very well in the first half, but they're able to pick it up in the second half. But they're a good balanced football team, a team that's very solid also in the kicking game.
Charlie, give a sense of where you stand in the league in terms of your team is competing, and does it fit in terms of competing for the championship?
Well, we just haven't had a chance yet. I'm trying to stay away from that right now, just where we want to go as far as going to go win it. I just think each game is important for us, and it's 5 games left. It's a 1-game season. Let's go get ready to play Pittsburgh. We'll see what happens after that game. I just don't want to look ahead because a lot of times it's just when you haven't won enough games. It's just, and it's hard not to because so many games. You know, we sit there on Friday nights and you watch those games, and our team sits there watching those games. But you just like to just break it down in just a 1-game season where let's go get ready to play Pittsburgh, and then we'll get ready for the next one.
You've got a pair of shutouts on defense. So what's been the biggest area of improvement defensively?
When you look at just area improvement, guys are getting aligned and they're playing together. And it just look at us like on the defensive front, we've been playing a lot of different people. So a lot of guys, just experience-wise, a lot of guys have been able to play. And we didn't get we got 1 sack. So the pressure hasn't always been in the Cincinnati game. We got no sacks. But we're just playing so well. We get back into coverage where we're not giving up the big plays. But we can negate the big plays. You always feel like you can play well on defense.
You talked about your team learning how to win. Have they moving along in that process? Are you happy with the way it's coming along? And is it different even in the league on the road? Is it a different animal?
Well, it's always tough on the road. And when you talk about just learning how to win, just being competitive, we have been very competitive each game we played this year. Now it's just we were able to get a win there on Saturday. Now we just got to continue. And then what happens when you win some games, then how do you handle winning? You know, do we get enough pat on the backs this week where now we lose our focus to Pittsburgh? But it's enough seniors on this team where you feel like you have enough focus where you can just lock in, where guys can lock in and realize the importance of each game.
Will Scruggs be back for this game?
I don't know. I think today the trainer's going to look at him and then decisions and they. But Brandon Dunn came in and played very well for us. We've been able to rotate enough defensive linemen.
And speaking of the defensive line, the nose tackle position, is it a matter of no one has locked it down, or do you guys, you've used Roy there, Salmon, and Tim High? Is it a matter of nobody's locked it down, or you just like to rotate it just to, keep guys fresh and keep guys competing?
Well, it's all about competition, and guys know this. If they practice well, they're going to get a chance to play. And that's each week with any position, because if you look at on defense, you're right, Phylon started at nose guard on Saturday, and then the 3 technique was Brandon Dunn. And then at linebacker, Kennedy replaced Dexter Heyman. So guys understand that if you practice well, you're going to get a chance to go play.
You look around the country, you got Missouri leading the Big 12, you got Michigan State leading the Big 10, you got Auburn, which wasn't picked to win the SEC on top of that. Is the parity more than it's been in college football this year?
Well, if you just look at the parity, you're right, it's a lot of teams that have been down and are able to be on top of it now. And that's going to always continue because you just don't know the years. There used to be a time when you watch Alabama, Texas, Florida, Oklahoma, all those teams dominate. Now you're watching other teams move up the ladder. It's also tough when you have to go play on the road. That's where a lot of guys are not winning their games when they go on the road. That's what happens. If you go into an environment, you have to be ready to go play.
At this point, is Pitt the team to beat in the Big East? Do you think they've separated themselves at all?
Well, they're 2-0 right now, and there's just a lot of teams with one loss. But you look at our schedule, we still have Pitt to go play. We have Syracuse, South Florida. So we have games left to go play, and they also do.
Charlie, what's your philosophy? After the game, I know it can take a while for players to go all the way around the stadium. They've kind of cut it in half. What's kind of your take on that?
Well, you like for them to split. I think what has been happening is we saw then they go to their left a lot when they just need to go split and go both directions. Because I think this side over here gets left out. And our fans come out, so they need to go to both sides. But it's like they just hit one direction and then come right in the locker room.
Did the fans maintain? You kind of challenged them with Cincinnati game. They were pretty intense. Would you like to see more Saturday than you did?
Well, no, it was a sellout. So then, we have to do our part. So I just said, Cincinnati game, they came out. Even the last game was a sellout, so we're getting there. We just have to play, and then people love to watch you go play.
How difficult is Pittsburgh when all of their big play guys on offense are operating at a high level? Because it seems like earlier in the year they kind of stumbled around, and part of the reason they lost some of those games is because Baldwin wasn't involved as much, or Dion Lewis wasn't running like he was last year.
Well, if you look at it also, they have 2 good backs with Lewis and with Graham, but the quarterback is making the throws now. And then you have 2 6'5" guys. You just throw the ball up. They're going up and go get their ball. That's what Ball was doing. He's making plays, and if you double Baldwin, and Shanahan is also 6'5", so they can go throw a lot of ball to him. So it's a matter of their receivers are going up and they're making plays.
After the Arkansas State game, when they kind of did that to you guys, were there any drills you guys did with the corners to?
Well, Cincinnati did it too, so I don't know if those drills worked.
Some coaches like to talk about their team being an underdog. Other coaches don't address it at all. Where do you fall in that? Do you talk about being an underdog, going on the road, that kind of thing to your team?
No, what I try to talk to our team is we have to play at a championship level for 60 minutes. And we know we're going into a tough environment, but we have to take care of our business. We can't go in there and give up the big play. We have to go in on offense. We have to move the football. We have to score points. And in the kicking game, we can't give up any big plays. We have to go down and cover. We have to hit the field goals. So it's more about just address our team and make sure that we're locked in and ready to go play.
We can talk about Bilal for a second, if you haven't already looked at him. So just about his impact on his team this season, the fact that he finally did talk to the media. I mean, it seems like the whole, I'm not just pointing him out, but it seems like this team is going through a progression of sorts emotionally as well as physically. He, to some degree, we talked about him in the face of progress, but also put him on some line.
Right. If you watch Bilal Powell, he's a young man that works and he never says anything. He just goes about his business. And so in the spring balls, when I first noticed where he was just running through our defense, I didn't know how good our defense was. I didn't even know how good we were. I'm sitting there like, wow, no one can tackle him. And then he carried it over from spring ball to now into the season. And he's playing unbelievable. And our guys, he's so fun to watch because it's like each snap when he get the ball, they just like, it's like you hold your breath because you know he may go break one. And even our players feel like that. Oh, it's like when he gets tackled, like, oh man, like one of those. But he's playing so well and he's competing so hard. It's just so fun to watch him go play because you always like to see good things happen to good people, and he's a good person. So it's happy to watch it happen.
Is he a guy that can play next year on Sunday?
Oh, I think he's one of the best backs in the country. I don't know why he couldn't play this year.
What does it say about him and also the offensive line? Have a guy get 1,000 yards in 7 games. I mean,
Well, it says a lot about our O-line because they block him very well. Because you look at Tom Chack, Wetter, Stingley, Josh Byram, all those guys are Mario. They're just playing so well. And I've always said that's the glue of our football team. And the guy who doesn't get enough credit is Perlman because Perlman's playing unbelievable himself. So you look at how well the line is protecting Perlman, how he's opening up holes for Bilal to go around the way he does, and then the receivers are blocking downfield. A lot of runs, if you watch Bilal will break a run, and then you'll see a wide receiver run across in front of a defensive back. In the Cincinnati game, a tight end, Nate Norwood gets across the field and blocks a guy to allow him to break it. But it's just offensively, they have enough confidence in themselves where they know Perlman can make the throw, Bilal can make the run, our receivers can make the catch, and the offensive line can block well enough where we feel like we can go score points.
How was that translated in terms of the way you saw them maybe a few months ago and now, like, either emotionally or confidence-wise? You see them, I don't want to say carrying themselves differently, but you know what I'm saying? Guys, especially at this age, so professionally, that they start believing in themselves, you see this real transformation. Have you seen that necessarily?
Well, you've seen that transformation with the seniors, just because now it's once in games, so just leadership-wise, they're carrying themselves a little different and kind of believing in themselves and they're believing in the team. I can say something now and you can just hear it just kind of trickle through the team now. And I don't have to say much anymore. When I sit up there and talk, guys kind of listen. They sit up in their seats and they listen. Maybe because we've won some games now. Now, if you haven't won any games, then it's like talking to that wall over there. It never would have happened.
What's the difference in their two backs between Lewis and Graham? Are they similar backs? Are they different backs? I mean, what are they like?
Lewis is a power runner. He's one of those guys who can get downhill. If you look, Graham is more, he's looking to bounce it outside more. Kind of like Vic and Bilal. Bilal's a guy like Lewis who can get behind his pads, whereas Graham's like Vic, a guy who's got some speed who can outrun.
Coach, you get a handout from the Sharon grid, and we're a little past halfway through the season. I know it's hard for you to key in and generalize like that, but you have to be relatively pleased with how the guys have progressed and bought in so quickly. Usually it takes about a year.
Well, it does, but what has helped us, and I keep going back to, is how well our seniors have responded. And if we didn't have a strong enough senior class, it may have taken more than a year to get it turned the way it's going right now. But there's still some games left out there for us, and you'd like to see us continue. I don't know how good we are, and you'd like to see improvement each game, and that's what we're seeing each game. But we need to continue to get better. We need to continue to take those steps to become a good football team.
Coach, where does Victor stand? I know he was hurt in the Cincinnati game, and he was just out over the last few weeks. Will he play this week?
I think that the decision will be made this week whether he'll play or not.